Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kuga. So, welcome to today's session on Get Noticed with 5 listing tips. Hope everyone is safe and taken your lunch. There's a chat box there where you can plonk any questions or comments if you may have. I will be answering them maybe in between or at the end of the training session. So, shall we begin? So our agenda today is to write, I'm going to show you some samples on which is the good or bad headlines and some tips. And then next is how to write a description that sells. And thirdly, to share with you some tips on making your listing photo shine and ways to drive more views. And finally, understanding your listing performance inside. So let's move on to our first agenda, which is write a great and catchy headlines. Tips on what makes good listing headlines, right? The language you choose naturally impacts the click worthiness of your headline. When using words that are bland, uninspiring, or unknown by most of your potential readers are going to be turned off. So instead, stick with a language that is simple and powerful. Every headline you write should target a specific keyword with a significant search volume. This is not only ensures that your headline is optimized to drive targeted traffic through organic or paid search, but it proves that people are actively looking for that related topic or information and so on. Third is hit on something interesting, obviously, and if you insist on using exclamation mark, you are forbidden from using more than one. There is nothing so exciting as to necessitate drawing attention to a property with a multiple exclamation mark. And finally, fear of missing out the real thing. It is not necessary. It is good. It's nice to say something like, "Hey, hurry! What are you waiting for?" Or maybe you can say, "Last 3 units left." That kind of sense of urgency. So you might want to consider all this as well. These are some of the examples, right, that you can use. When I say simple and powerful, maybe you can say 3 minutes walking distance to LRT Kelana Jaya, target a keyword, walking distance to KDU University, and interesting content, something like imagine coming home to a gorgeous one-bedroom in Putra Heights, or create urgency, something like make no mistake, call now, last 3 units left. So you can use one of these relevant to your property or your particular unit. So know or get to know what is the best selling point or renting point of your particular unit, and then you showcase them in your headlines. So when I say, hey, target a keyword with high search volume, you can say, hey, Kuga, how, what should I be doing and things like that, right? So one thing, you can watch my video, which I done previously on a webinar called 3 online marketing tools that is useful for property agents, which is already in YouTube. You can go to our academy and look for the link. It's there. Other than that, you can use keyword research tools. So I have shared 3 here, which is the KW Finder, Key Search, Google Keyword Planner. So the Google Keyword Planner, it's free. So the other 2, you have some kind of payment to be made, but the good thing about it is you can actually use a trial account first. So in the event you think it's good, you can actually try to subscribe. And it's it's not connected to Property Guru, but I'm just sharing with you things that you can do to check what are the keywords that people are actually looking for. Okay, quick question. Who do you think did better, Agent A or Agent B? You can use the chat box to give the answers. Don't be shy. Okay. Yeah. So Agent A. As you can, okay, let's move on to the next slide. Why I say Agent A do better, right? So why did Agent A do better? Basic things, simple and powerful and unique selling point. So fully extended kitchen, that sounds a win to me already. Where, especially if you have mothers or people who older who's at home and making cooking every day, this is definitely a plus point already. And then 24 hours gated and guarded, so you feel safe and you feel safe basically. The next one, how can Agent B improve? Basically, there's no content. He just make a repetition, right? because the title itself is USJ 17/3B and the next thing is the same thing. So there's no content, it's not interesting, and it's a repetition. So definitely this can be improved. Okay, so the answer is yes, Agent A. Thank you, everyone. So next agenda is how to write a description that sells. So before I move on to this slide that explaining, right, you need to understand people, property seekers are scanning in your listing before they find it interesting and continue to reading. So a good thumb is to write between 80 to 100 words or 120 words. I'm going to give you a very logic example, non-listing, non-real estate, right? For instance, if you're going to buy something from Shopee or Lazada, you look at the pictures, you look at the pricing, the next thing you do, you read the description. For example, what battery needs to be used or how to wash this particular material, how to take care of it and things. So similar thing goes to your listing. When a property seeker look at your photos, look at your pricing, not bad. Okay, let me go and read about this particular listing, right? If you don't write enough, it kind of like put them off. So make sure you break your text into smaller paragraph, make it easier for your property seeker, and then you just break down to this four structure. First, you speak about your unit condition. For example, whether it's furnished, view direction, fitting, conditions, and anything like that, whether it's moving condition or it's ready next year or next few months and so on. And then you speak about facilities, whether if it's apartment or condominium, if they have swimming pool, gym, number of car park, tennis court, laundry room or anything like that. And then followed by amenities and transportation. Amenities means things like hospitals, any small marts, schools, shopping mall, and so on. But when you're explaining these amenities and transportation, please do put some numbers to it, some digit to it, right? So you can say like 3 minutes away or 4 kilometers away or 5 minutes driving and so on. So please do put some numbers or numeric to it. So when people or property seeker read your description, they would kind of already draw this, I would say location kind of thing in their mind map already. Same goes to transportation. When I say transportation, it includes our highways. You know, you can say, oh, Federal Highway 5 minutes away, or Kesas is just 2 minutes drive. So not only the buses, the MRT and so on, but including your roads as well. So this is one of the good examples. So this is my headline, and then I start with a beautiful corner terrace unit, and then I say very good marble flooring, refurbished kitchen, gated and guarded, and then 4 kilometers to San W Hospital, 1 kilometer away to Sekolah Teknik, 5 minutes away from Federal Highway, 5 kilometers to Taipan LRT, and so on. So just keep it very simple, very detailed, you know, in a bullet point. So just start off with a nice sentence and then with a detail of property. Please don't go and write a long essay, you know. Property seekers has no time to read unless it's a nice storybook or anything like that, right? So try to keep it very, very simple. Quiz time. So who do you think did better? Is it Agent A or Agent B? Yeah, so it is Agent B. In a glance, I think you can already tell who did better. So how can Agent A improve? To be honest, Agent A, right, has a good information, but the only problem is not organized into smaller sections. It's too clustered, too long. However, he or she has a very, very good information. Unfortunately, it's just not properly segmented. Yes, you guys are right. So the Agent B did better. Why? Good format, bullet form, amenities, facility, transportation. All these are in there and nicely segmented, so it's nicer to your eyes also. It's not too painful. So as a summary, do write in a bullet points, list the area of amenities, branded appliance if applicable, and then do not try to avoid grammar errors. Avoid short forms or capital letters, avoid indicating any race or religion as well. Next thing is your tips to make your listing photo shine. So agents can influence photos and description. External factors such as price, location, unit configuration is beyond your control. In this digital era, property seekers want to be equipped with as much information and the material as possible before taking the next step with you. So by showcasing the property in a professional manner, you establish yourself as a property agent that aims to serve them, and that's extremely important to genuine property seekers. So photos make a big difference. 90% of the information transmitted to human brain is visual, with our brain processing images 60,000 times faster than text. Approximately 2 in 5 people respond positively when visuals are included. Therefore, having quality images for your property holds the key in attracting the right buyers to the property listing. Okay, so basically when I say, hey, you know what, Sally Wong, I'm just going to use your name, right? So I'm going to say, hey, Sally, you know what, there's a guy who's single or anything like that. Would you want to get to know this person? You know, it's very nice, you know, so and so. The first thing a human would ask, right, I would say maybe 90%, 95% is, hey, can I see the picture? Because it's kind of the first impression, right? So this is same goes to your property listing, same goes to let's say even if you're doing even you're buying things in Shopee or Lazada, this is one of the first thing that property seekers will look at. So what makes an outstanding photo, right? Schedule a right time. Natural lighting starts from maybe 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then use your landscape. So social media channels, right, prefer square or portrait image, but that's not the case for the real estate photography. Your home is simply too wide to fit into a portrait. So use horizontal landscape instead of vertical portrait. So the idea is to capture your property for sale in the entire frame of the camera and do it. So the human eyes sees in the common aspect ratio. So less is more. Homes with less furniture show up better in photos, even during open house living. Rearrange your bedroom or closets and so on. But this thing, I don't expect you to actually go to a seller's house and rearrange it. But you can actually give them a heads up. Hey, you know what? I'm coming to your house on this day at this time. So potentially, can you just like clean up a bit or hide whatever is not necessary. And if you can showcase a bird's eye view, taking photos from above is a great way to show off a large property also. Or even a small room also, it's quite good when you use like a selfie stick, holding and using in an angle and things, right? This will be a great tool for you as well. So I'm just going to show you some pictures of natural lighting. So on your left, you can see it's much more nicer and clearer. Potentially when you snap at night with the yellow lighting and so on, this is how it's going to look like. And then landscape and portrait. As you can see, landscape covers almost the whole living room, and then portrait just cover half of the TV and the two green chair with the lion, right? And then less is more. So obviously the picture speaks for itself. And then bird's eye view. So if you're doing a new project and things, right, usually in their they already provide you some images. So if you do have, you might just want to showcase that also in your listing. So some tip, right, for clear and nice picture, like I say, use natural lighting. So what you can do is, like let's say if the curtains are not drawn and things, so you just draw the curtain so we can see what is beyond the curtains, if especially it's apartment, right? So now I know, oh, it's a balcony, and then from the balcony I can see what's happening outside. Unless you're going to showcase two pictures, one with the closed and one with the open and things also, that should be fine. So focus on your property. And then second thing, when you open the curtain, sometimes, right, it's too bright as well. So you want to make sure that you maybe want to blind down or use the first layer of your curtains and try to tone it down. So if too bright also, you might want to adjust the setting of the photo. And then obviously this is neat and tidy room. The neat and tidy room looks definitely nicer. But however, like I said, right, I don't expect you to bring a maid and go and clean the house before snapping pictures and so on. All you can do is just probably give a heads up to the particular owner that, hey, I'm coming up, potentially just clean up kind of thing. And then sometimes what we tend to do, we tend to tilt our phone when we are snapping pictures. So instead of tilting the phone, you move your arm up and down, right? So you just move your arm up and down. So you'll get a straight picture. And then number 4, since you can upload many pictures, right? So capture multiple angles of the same space. So property seekers are looking for many details as possible. So make it easy for them to understand your property. Adjust the lighting in each room to see the best light, and then you snap few angles and then focus on the property itself. And this is quite important. If you're going to snap picture of a communal, avoid photographing people in the photo. If you do take a picture with someone in frame, ask their permission before posting the photo, or maybe you can actually kind of pixel it, you know, if we are swimming and so on, you just pixel the picture so that their faces cannot be seen. Now, quiz time. Why is this photo bad? Can anyone tell me quickly in the chat? Why do you think this photo is bad? Yes, so the person is in the picture. So try to snap pictures without the photographer in it, right? So yes, you're right. So the photographer is in the photo, and I personally feel that the bathroom is not clean enough. They could have actually kind of, yeah, too messy, right? Junkiat is too messy. And then you have bad lighting because you have the blinds closed here. I would open these blinds and probably tidy up, because it's, to be honest, it's such a nice bathroom, but it's two ways right now, right? Because the photographer and it's kind of messy. And why do you think this photo is bad? Any idea? Why do you think this photo is bad? Yes, yes, Gan. So it has obstruction, right? So we have the tree and the truck that obstructing this beautiful house. So we can't see the entrance of the home. So potentially, you know, obviously cars or trucks you can move it, but tree you can't move, right? So you want to change the angle of your picture. Maybe you go from sideways and show the entrance of the house. All right. Let's move on to our second last agenda, which is drive Mobius. So now you have beautiful pictures, you know, you have beautiful description, and then beautiful headline, perfect headline. But you want to make sure that you actually appear, that property seeker sees you. I'm just going to give non-layman term, right? Like, sorry, a layman term. Me putting on makeup, wearing nice thing, and I know how to speak, you know, I can crack jokes, for example. But in an event or in a get together, I go and hide myself in a corner, or I just cover myself in a bathroom. So meaning that's pointless, right? I spend a lot on my makeup, my pictures and so on, and then I'm hiding myself because people wouldn't notice me, they don't even see me. So similar to your listing. So when you have all these things, you want to make sure that, you know what, I want property seekers to see my listing. So what you can do, you can decide to spotlight your listing. What is spotlight? Spotlight allows your quality listing to stand out in search result, capture relevant property seekers' interest. Guys, if you don't understand this, don't worry. In the end of the session, when I stop recording, I will send you the link to the article. You'll be able to look at it as well. And also we have amazing account managers who are willing to help you as well. So don't worry about this, but I will try to explain as much as I can during this webinar now. So these are the sample of Spotlight. So that's a web view and app view. Before I go on further to explain what is the difference between regular listing and Spotlight listing. Okay. So what's the difference? Regular listing and Spotlight listing. First thing first that you need to know, Spotlight listing influences the ranking. So Spotlight listing influences the ranking. It comes with your headline. Your headline can be shown. Remember, we create a beautiful headline and so on. For regular listing, you can't see the headline. Properties can have to click on it to know your headline. And then you have image carousel, meaning to say, you know, like Instagram, when you can just like swipe to see the pictures, you have that. And then you have obviously your shortcut, which is WhatsApp to call, which is the most thing that I like personally. And then obviously your picture with a red border, red gradient kind of thingy. So it looks not only better, but definitely the position of it also is better. It's higher than the regular listing. So how do you want to spotlight? It's easy. In your agent net, go to your active listing, choose the listing that you want, click on the spotlight icon, and then it will show you how much spotlight credit you need, and you can spotlight. This will be 7 days. But let me show you how does it appear in the search result when a property seeker sees it, right? So in any area, first slot is given to weekly feature listing, but not necessarily every week all 4 slots are taken, right? So in the event, let's say this week only 2 slots are taken, so on the third search result, it will be your spotlight listing. So spotlight listing is unlimited. So maybe if you go and see in KLCC area, right, about the first 3 pages all spotlight listing, only on the fourth page, only on the fourth page the regular listing starts. But maybe if you go and see like Bukit Beruntung or slightly not so hot area, in the first page itself, you can see a regular listing. So why am I sharing you this? Is because I want you to understand what listing you have, where should you spend your ad credit wisely, right? So knowing which area and so on, okay, you know, okay, KLCC is high competition because the regular listing only starts at page number 7. So I have to spotlight it so that people will see me. But in certain area, maybe you can say certain area in Subang or wherever Shah Alam is it, then you realize, nah, it's okay. Regular listing starts in page number 2, which is not bad, right? A lot of people go on page number 5 and 7. So it's okay. Maybe I'm going to save my spotlight ad credits then. So this is why it is important for you to go back to your property seekers page and look for your listing. Where is it? So whether I should be spotlighting it, or is it okay for me to save my credit and use it? Or do you think, you know what, I'm just going to do a weekly feature listing. Weekly feature listing is again 7 days, but you have to check the slot with your account managers. They're able to check for you whether it's taken or not taken, and then they'll be able to advise you. Okay, they can say, you know what, this slot is taken, but what happens is your listing will appear as on top 4 basically for the 7 week. So it's something you decide what you want to do. I can't tell, hey, you know what, Junkiat, you do this, or maybe Gansing, you do this. So it really depends, drop down to what you're listing and how your listing appears. This time, the spotlight influence ranking, is it yes or no? What an easy question, right? Anyone? Too easy that you all don't want to answer? Yes. So spotlight does influence your ranking. Correct. So you might want to consider this. Yes, all of you are right. Next question. Which of the following is not true? It could be more than one answer. All right. It could be more than one answer. So regular listing has a larger search result type. Or spotlight listing has a larger profile photo, or regular listing has image carousel. So like I say, it could be more than one answer. You can answer one answer, that's fine as well. Yes, correct. Correct, guys. So it is A and C. So only spotlight has larger profile photo, spotlight has a larger search result, and spotlight only have image carousel. For regular listing, it does not have. So you guys are correct. And final agenda is our understanding your listing performance insight. So this one I would consider one of the most important agenda. So I need you to concentrate a bit. Like I said earlier, right? Understand how your listing is performing, right? Like go back to your search result and see and so on. But next thing what you can do is understand a bit more slightly in depth by the number wise. So after you post a listing, after 24 hours, you'll be able to see this gray color bar with some numbers on it. This is what we call listing performance insight. So all of y'all should have it. But you cannot see this on your agent app. You have to use web. So even if using your mobile, you need to go to your Safari or your Google Chrome, and then you just www.agentnet and so on, and then you should be looking at this. So having this data is one thing, but understanding is another thing. So I need you to understand, what does impression mean? So impression means the number of time listing was seen through search result. Don't get it mixed when I say listing being seen with views, right? So this means they doesn't necessarily click on your listing. So for example, you have listing KLCC and someone finding for your KLCC, and then they scroll, your listing is there, but they didn't click on it, they scroll, and go page number 2, page number 3, and so on. So this misses impression. Now, a lot of people, after I say this, right, they like to say, hey, Kuga, so what's so important about this? They're not going to click, so I don't care. It's not true. The bigger the number of impression, that means out of that number, right, maybe we can narrow down 1% or 2% or 3% will click on your listing. So if your number of impression itself low, right, how are you going to narrow down that people are going to click on your listing? So you always need to focus on the bigger number of impression. So the bigger people know you, right, that means somehow or other someone is going to click on your listing. And this also shows that you have created your listing properly and you are getting a good number of eyeballs. Views, number of time listing was clicked onto, right? So this is number of time listing was clicked into. And then obviously phone reveal and message, when someone wants to save your number, they will click on the plus sign to save your number, or message when they message you directly through your inbox. So when you have this, all this, right, you can actually come up with your own findings. You can say, hey, not bad lah, I only did regular listing, but I'm getting already 500 impression within the 3 days. And then maybe on the 7th day, you realize, hey, slow down already lah, my impression, maybe I should repost so that I will go on top. Or maybe I should spotlight so that I'll be in top of the search page. So something you can come up with. And then to help you even further, we come up with Sparkline and Lightbar. Sorry. So Sparkline is based on impression performance against other similar listing. So you be seeing green or red. So green means you're doing good, average. If red means, that means you're not doing so well on your impression. That means you can do better. So if you click on the light bulb, it'll kind of give you a suggestion how to improve your listing. Maybe they'll suggest that to be post, or maybe you can what they call spotlight and so on. So you must look at your listing performance inside to understand how your listing works. Right? So basically in a different view, so the impression, the bigger the impression means you can narrow down further, which our end goal is to sign the contract, right? So you have to build the interest to it. Okay, so the bigger impression is, that means general interest on the similar listing, and then you have views, which is somehow if they view at you, right, somehow or other they're interested in a specific listing. If they actually phone reveal and message, that means they're really interested in the particular listing. Okay, next time, which metric does make performance inside reveal? Meaning I showed you few metrics, right, which is under performance insight. So it could be more than one answer, like earlier. I'm just giving you some hints. Okay, there's only one which is not in the listing performance insight, basically. The answer is A and B. So we have impression and views. We don't have click-through rate. So B is correct answer, but the answer is A and B. Click-through rate we didn't have in impression, right? So it's impression and B. So second, how many days does Sparkline provide in visual listing performance? I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier. If I don't, yeah, correct. So Sally, you're right. So C. So it only will complete for 30 days, right? A month kind of thing. Then after that, it refreshes and give you a new data. Okay, last question, I promise. What does impression mean? Is it number of time listing was seen through the search result, or number of time listing was clicked into? Is it A or B? Impression. Yes, Sally. Yes, done. So the answer is A. Correct. So number of listing was seen through the search result. So as a summary, all you need to make sure is use your keywords in your headlines. Importance of a good description. You know how important is it? Photo definitely drive leads and views. And then you can utilize on Spotlight, and finally improve and evaluate your listing through your listing performance insight. Just before we end the session, during our pandemic, during our lockdown and so on, our management have came up with initiative for Guru, for agent partners. So if you not aware of this, you can always speak to our customer service, Cuskare, or you can actually speak to our wonderful account managers as well. They're able to help you. And on a weekly basis, especially on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, our marketers are coming up with beautiful, important, insightful news, right? A short write up, but very impactful. So do visit our news agent to look at this. And finally, we are coming up with more series, more webinars, because it's still not safe to have a face-to-face training yet. So we'll make sure that we continuously support you. I'm going to stay on the chat for a few more minutes, but I'm going to end the recording. So I would like to thank you for being here today, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening ahead, I guess. And hopefully we beat this pandemic and we will get to meet each other soon. Thank you very much once again.